Well,
Totally.
thank you guys,
So,
everybody, for participating in this event today. We're so excited to share some of the love that surrogacy brings. And my name is Jen McGill, and I'm the Director of Surrogacy and Legal with Creative Family Connections. We are so thrilled to have you with us, and our goal today is to celebrate the love and joy that surrogacy brings. So maybe you're a prospective parent who is on the fence about undergoing a surrogacy, or maybe you're considering becoming a surrogate yourself. We hope to inspire you to take the plunge. Someone once said, when we love, we always strive to become better than we are. When we strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better too. So what not better reason to take an opportunity today to show why we love what we do. And then we hope that our love and passion will help to inspire your day. With that, please allow me the pleasure of introducing you to our guest today. Diane Hinson, the owner and founder of surrogacy agency and law firm, Creative Family Connections, reproductive endocrinologist, Dr. Gad Lavy, who is the medical director and founder of New England Fertility Institute, 4 of our amazing former CFC surrogates and current CFC team members, Nica, Chatima, Carrie, and Sam, and last but not least, a very special introduction to 2-time former intended parents of ours through surrogacy, Jason and Jay Burkhardt. Diane, thanks so much for chatting with us today. Can you please tell us a little about you, about CFC, and why you are so particularly passionate about surrogacy and what you do?
I would love to. So, a lot of you probably know that 1 in 8 couples has trouble becoming pregnant, and that does not even count those who cannot become pregnant due to their status. For example, 2 gay men who want children. Well, I was one of those who had troubles and my marriage failed. I decided that I wanted to go ahead and start my family as a single mother. Back then, it was a radical thing to do. It was so out of the box that Broadcasting Magazine ran a short piece on it. I was a communications lawyer at the time. But starting my family was the best thing I ever did. So fast forward about 10 years in the early 2000s, and I was taking a sabbatical from work and deciding what to do with the rest of my life. I decided that I wanted to help create legal paths to parenthood. There were plenty of agencies and lawyers in the adoption world. So I decided to focus on surrogacy, which was still in its early stages. In fact, when I asked one of my gay friends what he would do to start a family, he said he would have to go to the West Coast. Well, I thought that was crazy. So I founded Creative Family Connections in the fall of 2001. Exactly 21 years ago, on Valentine's Day 2002, Creative Family Connections received our corporate articles of incorporation. My goal was to deliver the same quality of service I previously gave corporate clients, but with the compassion and high-touch support for the emotional journey that surrogacy deserves. Our overarching goal is to make the journey as happy as possible, as stress-free as possible, but all while being legal and ethical. To do this, we've established a law firm that does everything a surrogacy agency does. Legal issues are just so intertwined throughout surrogacy. Since our founding, we've helped hundreds of parents build and expand their families, and we're approaching about 1,000 babies born. We're passionate about opening doors for our parents. When I began, not all clients welcomed our gay clients. This infuriated me. If anyone had tried to tell me I could not start my family as a single mother, I would not have taken it lightly. I would not have been happy. So I knocked on the doors of these clinics. I banged on them until they finally opened the doors. We've received landmark court rulings for our same-sex clients. We worked hard to change the surrogacy law in DC from one of the worst to one of the best. We also created the U.S. Surrogacy Map, which summarizes state surrogacy laws across the U.S. We do a happy dance whenever we can flip a state from a red light to a green light state. You can actually see an updated map starting today on our newly revised website. We have found amazing surrogates and facilitated their journeys. Service is so key to what we do. And what I really love, probably the most, is seeing the joy when the babies are born. We don't call it a happy ending, we call it a beginning. The joy that our parents experience, the older siblings, if there is one, and the surrogates experience because they have changed a life so fundamentally. I am passionate about our mission to help everyone build a family. And we choose team members to join Creative Family Connections who are similarly passionate. You will hear from some of them today. Thank you for letting me share this with you.
Thank you, Diane. That was really impactful. Dr. Lavy, it's your turn. Could you tell us a little about NEFI and how did you get into such a niche field like assisted reproductive technology? Also, why is working in surrogacy so meaningful for you?
So, well, I would say that for me, being here today has been a journey. And, I've been in this field, and of course, coming from the medical side, but ending up exactly where Diane just basically said, that we're in a very good place today, that we can help almost anyone, everyone who's willing to take advantage of the technology become parents. And without aging myself, when I first started, it was unthinkable. In fact, in the early days, when I first started, we were basically learning how to do IVF. Imagine, it was a long time ago. And so if someone back then told me that we'll be doing surrogacy and we'll be helping singles and gay couples, that was, crazy. So the thing that, I enjoy the most about what I do is the fact that, as I said, that we can help more people than we ever were able to help. And for me, really, is the fact that it's really more about the people and their stories and where they come from. Because the technology keeps moving forward and getting actually better, simpler, more successful. But to me, the reason I actually love coming to work every day is the fact that I get to meet people who come from different places, have different backgrounds, different stories, and they all have the same goal, and they want to have a families. And so it's all started with IVF. And then once, IVF basically started as a way to help, basically couples where there was sort of an issue with the woman's fallopian tubes and she couldn't get pregnant. And IVF sort of is a way to get around that. And once that became sort of successful, and when we first started, I would say that the success was in the low single digits. So you're really, really lucky if you're able to get pregnant. And fast forward to today, it's, when you do a process and it doesn't work, it's surprising, right? Because you do it and more than likely it's going to be successful. So again, having this perspective, it's, I keep thinking back and where we are today and where we were then, and it's pretty amazing. So once IVF became a thing and it was successful, then we started applying it to different conditions, different situations, and also the fact that we're now able to basically separate the embryo creation process from the embryo transfer process allows us to basically do egg donation and surrogacy very successfully. And again, that was sort of a huge breakthrough in this process. So, once the process was successful and we were doing IVF and we were doing egg donation, we were doing surrogacy, I also had sort of maybe a midlife crisis and said, well, what do I really like to do? And I always loved the surrogacy egg donation process for many reasons. I find it to be a little bit more challenging. There's more moving parts. So it makes it a little bit more complex. And it's always a little bit of a challenge to actually not just have the technology, but also make sure that all runs smoothly. So I decided at that point that to focus my practice basically on what we call third-party reproduction. So this is egg donation and surrogacy and all combinations thereof. And with that, basically, then you can pretty much reach anyone. Couples, heterosexual couples, gay couples, single men, single women. So that sort of opened up a whole new world. And I figured that, to do it well, because it's a little bit more complex, you should really be focused on it and not just create the technology, which we had, but also create the infrastructure to support that. And one of the things that I knew from just the fertility world, that, being infertile and having trouble having children is a huge emotional burden for people. And it's hard to underestimate that, how important it is. And I always felt that having, good support for the clients, for the patients, is really important. And I think even more so when you're dealing with surrogacy. Because here, and especially, if you're doing egg donation surrogacy, for example, taking, gay couples, I mean, you sort of feel disconnected from the process because essentially you give your sperm and pretty much everything else happens around you. So, we make it a point to actually get the parents as close as possible to the action, so to speak. And we have essentially a caseworker, or we call them coordinators, somebody who will be sort of attached to the parents through the process, and not only make sure that everything runs smoothly, but also make sure that they know what's going on at any given point. So, so basically, I made that decision, and of course, part of it was the fact that allows us to work with clients from all over, and we do. So we have clients from all over the U.S. and we have many international clients. And as you know, in the U.S., the way the process is done, you also work with agencies. And having that connection and making sure that the clinic and the agency are, basically are on the same page, or then makes the process a lot easier. So, having experience working with Diane and her group has been awesome, because they really have the right idea. So it's not just the fact that they do it well, but they love what they do. So that actually always connected with me. So, it's, again, I mean, I've been in this field, and again, without aging myself again, for many, many years, but it still is fresh. And, I love what I do. I love coming to work. And every single day you see something you haven't seen before. So I really, really love it. And I think doing this webinar on Valentine's Day is awesome, really, because it really ultimately, it's all about love. And every single person that's involved in this process, I think, at least the ones we know, the one we work with, loves what they do. We love the surrogates because I think what they do is the most amazing, selfless thing that you can do. So it's a very, it's a good time to do. It's a good opportunity to.
Thank you, Dr. Lavy. That was wonderful. It was so inspirational, and we can clearly see how much you love what you do. As I mentioned, we have not one, but 4 amazing of our former surrogates here with us who are also CFC team members. So we'll start with our first, Nica Carlson. You are our recruiting and matching coordinator. Do you mind sharing a little about what you loved being a former surrogate and why CFC is such a special place to work at for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So the question, why do I love being a surrogate, is a really hard question to answer because there's really just so much to love about surrogacy in general. To me, surrogacy really is the embodiment of love. So if you've ever heard of the 5 love languages, which is a study on how different types of people ultimately express their love for each other, one of those 5 is giving. And giving is absolutely my love language. For me, surrogacy was an opportunity to give somebody the ultimate gift of a family. It's helping someone achieve the ultimate love, which is the unconditional love that a parent has for their child. Knowing how complete my life is because of my children, I, as a surrogate, am striving to help someone else attain that feeling of completion. As a surrogate, even getting to even be a small part of that journey for someone is fulfilling in a way that's really hard to explain. Just knowing that I was instrumental in helping someone build their family, it's like the ultimate accomplishment for me. I can look at photos of my intended parents with their son and say that I helped them feel that complete. It's just really beautiful knowing that you've made a difference in somebody's world like that, and knowing you've made such a positive impact on the world, even just for one family. For CFC, I love CFC for surrogacy because we see the whole journey. We care about the intended parents and the surrogates on a holistic level. So many of us here are surrogates, which I think is like the ultimate testament to that. We really are invested in making sure that the surrogacy journey is the best that it can be for everybody. We're looking out for everyone through our recruiting process. We know most surrogates are women like me, Chatima, Carrie, Sam, who are looking to help people fulfill their dreams of having a family. But we also want to make sure that we're onboarding candidates in a safe and ethical manner as well. All of our surrogates are very strongly vetted before they're introduced to our intended parents, from background and financial checks to virtual in-home visits. We are striving to ensure our surrogates are happy, healthy candidates who are motivated to help you grow your family. So we really work closely with each candidate as they are onboarded. We get to know them as we pull them into our program, so that we can really make sure that we're making amazing matches. We want you to love your surrogate as much as we do, so we focus not just on legal matching, but individual preferences and personalities. We want you to not just love the outcome, but your journey. So, I mean, honestly, it really is love. I mean, there's so much love in what we do every day, and forgive the pun, but surrogacy is a labor of love.
Love that, Nica. Thank you so much for that. Next, we have Chatima Hughes. She is a former surrogate again, and she's one of our very amazing recruiting and matching assistants on our recruiting team. Chatima, I've heard you talk about being a former surrogate many times. Why is surrogacy so important to you? And have you gained any special insight since working with CFC in your current role?
Yeah, so when I signed up to be a surrogate, I thought that I was just helping a couple complete their family. What I didn't expect was the overwhelming feelings of contentment that I felt after my journey was complete. I loved being able to help a family bring a child into this world, and then even after that journey was completed, helping to nourish those babies by supplying breast milk to help them continue to grow and flourish. I'm a wife, a mother, and a college-educated professional, but as a person with an altruistic personality, being a surrogate really helps me um, help someone else build their family and help me to feel more fulfilled. At the look of love that my IPs had when they first laid eyes on their baby, it was really the cherry on top and the reason why I decided to become a surrogate. Um, as far as working for CFC, I wasn't aware of all of the work that goes into the matching process until I became an employee here. My IPs and I match so well that I actually share a birthday with one of them. We started out as strangers, but ended as a family. And even though my IPs live overseas, we talk regularly. We make plans to visit each other, and I want to say that even for the next couple of years, we plan either us to go and visit them or for them to come and visit us. So it's truly a match made in heaven. When I filled out my application, I noted that I would be willing to match with any couple, but I was unaware of exactly how many different types of couples and single parents build their families through surrogacy. The thought and commitment that goes into the matching process with matching parents with a surrogate is, like Nica said, truly a labor of love for the CFC matching team. You heard about how our process is so unique and special. I should also mention that we talk in great detail to each of our intended parents to understand their hopes and dreams in finding their special surrogate. We work really hard to find that right lady. And I think it's also important to mention that our gestational carriers come from lots of different places and from all different backgrounds, but they always have this in common. They want to help make a difference and help build a family. We ask and we listen to each carrier when they apply to us to not only respect their wishes, but to hopefully find a match to intended parents that they will truly love. We want this to be an equally special journey for both intended parents and surrogates alike. And I can personally say that this was especially true for me in my journey.
Thank you, Chatima. That was wonderful. Carrie Jordan. Carrie is a two-time former surrogate of CFC and a current journey coordinator as well. Carrie, what do you think you love so much about your prior surrogacy journeys? And why do you think you felt compelled to become a journey coordinator after?
So honestly, I think I loved absolutely everything about being a gestational carrier for CFC. And it exceeded all of my expectations both times. I know the joy my own children have brought to my life and loved the idea of everyone being able to find a similar happiness. Because I loved being pregnant and had easy pregnancies and deliveries, it only made sense to help someone who couldn't carry a baby on their own. I remember having conversations with my friends like, why doesn't everybody do this? It's so amazing and it's so wonderful. Um, like Nica and Chatima said, in their journeys, we started out as acquaintances, became friends, and in no time, we were more like family. For example, with my first journey, we threw our international IPs baby shower, and we were really lucky in that they came and visited us a lot throughout the pregnancy and still do. This past August, they visited, and after hours and hours and hours of flights with their almost 4-year-old, and even still, they came to my daughter's soccer tournament. They came to my sister's birthday party. We do birthday Zooms when we're not together. We, just like Nica and Chatima shared as well, we share pictures and videos and updates weekly, sometimes daily. Their daughter refers to me as Auntie Carrie and my husband as Uncle Mike. And our children have a relationship that's similar to that of cousins. One of the gifts we gave our APs when their daughter was born was a recordable book. So everyone in my family took turns reading a page to their daughter, and they let me know that that's still her favorite book to this day. And they love reading it with her and sharing her story with her. And when they visited in August, she often said to me, I grew in your belly. And I just love that she knows her story. I love that my family and friends welcomed my IPs and vice versa with open arms and formed those close relationships and bonds and a connection that we'll have forever. Like Nica said, looking at photos where you see these children that you carried, and it's a pretty incredible experience just to watch them grow up and know that you played an integral part in that. Another thing that I really love was being able to educate people on gestational surrogacy and kind of dispel some myths and share with them what a positive impact it can have on people's lives. I had a strong desire to continue to help people or be a part of people building their families after I was done being a gestational carrier. And I got lucky in that I now get to work for CFC, and it's allowed me to fulfill that desire. I love that I can still be a part of people's journeys and building their families, and that even after their children are born, they'll still send photo updates, and it's pretty incredible. I love that I'm able to connect with intended parents and gestational carriers as a journey coordinator, and I get to provide them with high-touch, proactive support the way that my coordinators did with me when I was a gestational carrier.
So I'm wondering if anybody else got goosebumps when Carrie was talking about the book. If everybody's speaking on it. I'm sitting here just feeling my arms. Thank you so much, Carrie. That was really special. And our last surrogate is Sam Sandefur. Sam is, again, a former surrogate of ours, but she is a paralegal on our legal team. Sam, is there anything you would like to share with us about your experience as a surrogate? And have you gained any perspective since you've been working with the CFC team?
Yes, I loved everything about being a surrogate. It was just the greatest experience. I loved that it was such an adventure, just getting to meet so many people and see new places, and like it was all for the purpose of creating this new life. So it was just so fulfilling and awesome. I love helping people, and I loved helping my IPs expand their family. I love being pregnant, so it was like the perfect thing for me to do. And I just have so much love for my IPs and my little Suro buddy that I carried. And I love working with CFC too. Being on the legal team is just amazing, getting to participate in other people's journeys. There really is so much love that goes into it, like the other girls have said. Everyone on the CFC team, but I know the legal team, you know, we work together every day, and we're all so dedicated to what we do, and we do everything with the utmost attention to detail to make sure that everything we're doing is legal and ethical. And so we just want to make the process ethical, enjoyable for everyone. And yeah, I love being a part of the team. I have so much love for my team. I could probably write a love poem, but I'll spare you all.
Sam, you're lucky because I should make you do it. Thank you for that. That's so great. And last but certainly not least, Jason and Jay, I think you have a special treat in store for us today to share a little about your experience with surrogacy.
Hi, I'm Jason, and this is Jay. We have two sons, Alexander, who's turning 2 this month, and then our second son was just born this past December, and 7 weeks old. So we're still trying to work on the sleep thing right now. But we met Diane probably about 5 years ago. We were trying to learn more about the surrogacy process and learn about how the CFC family could help us make our dream come true of having kids and having a family. And it was about 5 years ago. We didn't press go for a year or two, and we looked around at different agencies, but we quickly learned, and it was very clear that there was an abundant amount of love at CFC, and we felt the most comfortable talking to this family here. And so when it was time for us to press go, we came to CFC and said, hey, help us do this.
So as a Valentine's theme, and we're going to stick with love, we want to give you a quick snapshot of our journey, the process, and we thought it helped encapsulate and gave you a picture of what it's like to work with CFC. So we chose the 4 letters, and they stand for life, obstacles, village, and extraordinary. And so we're going to go through it, explain what those mean and how they apply to CFC. So Jason.
So L is life. I think it's what brings us all together. It's the most precious, special thing that we're trying to do is create life. And obviously, Jay and myself are not equipped and able to do this on our own. And so just like many families out there. So there's so much love and teamwork that goes into the whole surrogacy process. And it's all focused around life, bringing life into our family and expanding our family. Each night we read Xander a bedtime story. And at the end of that story, he looks at me, he gives me a big hug and says, I love you so much. He gives me a big hug and a kiss. Hey, it's so special. I'm gonna cry that much. But you know what Katrina did to help us bring that life into ours and to help us bring our second son into this world is priceless, and the words cannot describe how thankful and grateful we are for that.
All right. So
I didn't think I get emotional.
That's
Too much love.
Jason does that. So the next is obstacles, right? You know, it's a journey, and it's fraught with some obstacles. Things arise, and there's a lot to coordinate. There's a lot to do, and CFC was there with us through those challenges, helping us through all of that. And it was really an experienced set of professionals that have done this tons of times. And as you see from this, 4 former surrogates, so they understood innately what it takes to bring this life about. So really having that team on our side was key, was instrumental, right? We had several things that we confronted, and CFC handled those with ease. One of the things, for example, the insurance company that we used went under, right? And a lot of people, this impacted quite a few people doing surrogacy throughout the country. And CFC sprang into action. We were just 3 months away from having a baby. So getting an insurance provider that was going to provide for 3 months was a tough order. But you guys rose to the occasion and helped us overcome that obstacle. And the same thing, Xander was born in the middle of COVID. So dealing with COVID protocols and having to figure out, hey, how can we get into the hospital? Can we both go in to see the delivery? All those obstacles were managed really well. And I think having former surrogates as our case managers was really helpful for our surrogate, and walking her through everything from travel expenses to hey, how do we talk about, should we get a COVID vaccine? So those obstacles that you help us get through is really what you exist to do. And it was white glove service that we appreciated, and we knew our surrogate appreciated as well.
Yeah, so V, we got LOV. V is for village. It takes a village to do this, right? To go through this whole process. And there's many different types of villages out there. And so as intended parents, you have to choose who that village is going to be. And so there's a number of agencies out there that help folks do this, and a number of IVF clinics as well. And it's our advice to intended parents is to choose your village carefully, because it's a journey. It's a long journey at times. And you want to make sure you have people that you're comfortable talking with, that you can call up at any moment and ask any kind of question and not feel, you feel at ease with who you're talking with and working with. We started with one IVF clinic, and we didn't feel, that we weren't as comfortable with them, as we ended up going with a second IVF clinic. With CFC, we've been with them from the beginning, and we loved it. But being able to feel comfortable to go and talk to folks, to pick up the phone, to call Carrie, who was our case manager for Ethan, and to freely talk through issues and obstacles that you come about and challenges that you may or may not be prepared to go through. It's important to choose your village. So.
All right, so last letter is E, extraordinary. And I think what we're all talking about is these extraordinary surrogates that make this happen. It was obvious that our lives were enriched with these lives, but I think Katrina and her family's lives were enriched, and some of you have talked about that. We love the interaction we continue to have with our surrogate. We loved every minute that we were working with her to bring these two beautiful children to life. We were so happy when we were back for Ethan's birth to have Christmas with her and her 4 daughters. The daughters swarmed around Xander like he was their true brother, and they were having a blast running around the house with him. So having those moments with our surrogate and knowing that she appreciates as much the life that she brought into this world is really meaningful to us. She wears a couple gifts we gave her, a heart, a cross, a heart, or a heart-shaped pendant every day, and I know it reminds her of her help for our journey. So
it was really special the night they came out and hung out with us a day or two before Christmas. We're in Idaho waiting, for our Christmas gift, and the amount of love that her family brought over to us, it was really amazing to, we didn't have the opportunity to travel out as much, and so to spend that time with her family and the girls, and to have our son play with her girls was something really special.
So we hope our message of love on this Valentine's Day helped and helped explain our experiences with surrogacy and specifically with CFC. We wouldn't trade it for anything.
I think we're all feeling the love.
Yes.
For sure.
And it's mutual. Thank you.
And we're obviously so honored and humbled to have been part of your village in those past journeys. Well, what a wonderful way to end this event. We hope you enjoyed getting to know our guests a bit better and also understanding why surrogacy is clearly so dearly loved by all of us. A special thank you to all of our participants, and we welcome any questions about surrogacy or how we work. Please reach out to info@Creative Family Connections, or for more information on Dr. Lavy and his team, you can reach out to info@newenglandfertility.com. Wishing you the sweetest and happiest of Valentine's Day to Surrogacy with Love. Ah.
Bye all. Thank you.
Bye-bye.